Hey, everyone. Welcome to Thursday, December 12th meeting of Rotary Club of Milledgeville. This meeting is in order. Please silence your cell phones as Wendell will come forward and join us in service with the hearing of the day.
All right.
Cool jacket.
Yeah, I like the jacket. This, yes, thank you. Thank you. Let me make sure the people at home can see me. Oh, me and this jacket will be at the chamber thing tonight. Right? Yeah, tonight I'll see everybody here. All right. All right. Rotary of the day here. What's my order here? All right. Well, everybody, please prayer, pledge, and then the four-way test. Okay, everybody bow your heads. Father, for this day, we thank you. We thank you for this time together. We thank you for this community, this world that we live in, and all the wonderful things happening. And as you bless this food and nourish my body, that's our service. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all. And the four-way test for all the things we think, say, or do. First, second, third, fourth. Mr. Whipple, is it fun? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. They want me to go ahead and do happy dollars today. All right. And let's see what we got. Let's tell everybody we got a guest here. I'm happy. What we got? Thank you. You got anything good going on today? Let's share with your life. And I want to tell you that I'm glad to have somebody here bring their child today, and I appreciate you doing that. So that's what my happy dollars is for today. And talk to us about something good. We're in a great time of the year. Everybody's feeling good. Derek said last year, everybody's a little bit nicer. Things are happening a little bit better, and it's just awful good to be out there. So, all right. So any praises we want to give out today?
I'm just thankful that I've had a speedy recovery from total knee replacement and doing well. And physical therapist says that I'm 98% ahead of most other people at this time. So
Fantastic. Good. Thank you. So, people say that recovery is awful tough. You have awful tough with knee surgery. That's doing good. Good.
They tell everybody that, Sue.
what?
I tell everybody that.
Great organ thing. I know I always have to do.
Always.
Always.
So I'm gonna put $10 in there and happy dollars. But yeah, so selling raffle tickets. I sold 17 raffle tickets this year. That's a record for me.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that number. I was on the phone with Pete about a week ago, day before Thanksgiving, coming up with ideas. How can I sell these tickets? How can I sell these tickets? And came up with the idea to just blast the email out to my neighbors with the fine line because of the HOA and things that they soliciting. But I felt if I'm in the neighborhood, why not? You ain't gonna get ahead without risk, right? So did that, and then I was able to sell three more tickets. So, and that brought my number from 14 to 17. So I'm really proud about that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
My youngest son turned 1 on Tuesday.
Yeah. Fantastic. Who else got anything today? Is that it? Just 3 good things today? Is that all we got?
Sure, we got some more.
All right.
This project. That's right. That's right. Things are prospering during college. That's very good. So
Yes, it is.
happy to hear.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Frank. Yeah.
Got both my home kids home.
Fantastic. Yes. That is a good feeling. Anybody else? Hey, I will update you. You know, my daughter lost her house in that storm. I just want to tell you, wonderful, more things happening, and they're going to, I think they started on the insulation yesterday, like all the wiring and plumbing has been signed off on by the city, if you will. And then, so I'm hoping maybe by April, they may be in their house. And the most recent thing where I'm telling you, I say these are not coincidences, they're God incidences. Were supposed to move to another place and they got in there on the first day, flushed the commode, ain't been in there 5 minutes and all. Anyway, so they can't move in. All right. So the doctor just delivered their baby and said, hey man, I got a little small lake cabin, 700 square feet, 30 miles from here. Take it, it's yours. Don't owe me a dime. I'll see you in May. Okay. I can give you 115 stories just like that of how God has taken care of our family. So it's just been incredible. It's been the most positive experience I've ever dealt with. And so I just want to update you on that. They're going to be in the house and they're going to be fine eventually. But boy, let me tell you something. People have been so good. So thank you. All right. Just want to share that with you. It's a great day. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendell. Thank you for $50. Who's our sergeant at arms today? Yay. Okay, come on up. And thank you. All right, so we just have one guest today, right? You'll introduce her in a little bit? Sure. Sure, okay. What's her name? Kathy? Kat. You think Kat would draw my ticket for me? Possibly. Oh, Kat. Pick one, please. All right, let's see who's your new friend. 5879. That's all right. Here's $10 for playing. All right. Thanks, Seth. Thanks, Karen. Okay. Do we have any prayer requests today? Anyone we want to remember today? For community announcements, we don't have a bulletin. I would just remind everybody that Jennifer has Lockerly and Lights going on this weekend and next weekend. If you could attend that, it's a beautiful experience. A little bit of club business. Let's talk about super raffle ticket sales. Bobby, can you give us some updates on where we are with that?
Well, I'm not sure the number, which Dawn was just talking and she's running up the numbers now. I just turned in today probably close to 200 tickets. So between me and Keith and Billy Matthews, I turned in tickets today. We've got about 200 tickets we just turned in. I've got about another 50 to go, but I've got all those sold. Y'all, we just need to make sure we get these tickets sold. I know that's getting down to the wire, and this is all our only fundraiser, and this funds the whole, all our projects for the whole year. So we need y'all to make sure you get this sold and you turn back in next week. That next week, if you got them, you get billed for them. So I hate if we get a tax bill and a Rotary bill. But yeah, just help us out with that. If you got any questions, Fred, I appreciate you. Stepping out there and getting some more tickets sold. Just ask. I mean, I've sold all my tickets last year, and I've had one person that bought 2 last year that says I just want 1 this year. Every other one I've sold to people I went back to, they said give me 1. I actually had one person said give me 2 more. So people are still buying them and still want them. So it's just getting out there getting asking people. I mean, I dropped one up yesterday to a guy, and his daughter looked at it and she called me at the office. She goes, I saw this prize list y'all got. She said, I want 1 of those tickets. So I turned around and went back there and gave her a ticket. So I mean, people when they see the prize, show them what it is, show them how they can win. They'll be more too bad. That's all you gotta do.
See.
So
is it?
I shared it on Facebook. On Facebook.
I mean,
I just shared it, but
yeah, I don't know if we've had it put it on the. It should have been on the Rotary Facebook.
I think it was at one time.
But I put it on there. Tracy put some hours and it's we bump it out there every couple of weeks or whatever, just to kind of see. And every time I send it out, I usually get a call of 1 or 2 people say they want one. So, I mean, last little minute, we got, we want them in next week, but we do have a few extra days after that. So, I mean, we just need to get them sold. So, and we'll have a tally next week. I know we're gonna have a few extras left because we already talked about that. So, if you got somebody who needs one, please help us out.
Okay.
And,
You got copies of the prize list.
I can get you a copy. I don't have. Actually, I gave my last one out this morning because I printed about 20 yesterday and I handed them all out yesterday. And so I don't have any, but I can get you one or I can email you or text you one. I'll email you one to get it done.
Okay, we'll be happy to email that out, just back to the whole club membership, if that's
Yeah,
helpful.
send it back out and say that's, if I can, that's either in an email or a text.
Okay.
And community, I did, I don't know, I think a lot of you know, I do Christmas lights in my house every year. Big Christmas show, we drive up, turn the radio on and watch the music on. So if you got kids, whatever, come by the house, it's at 104 Courts Bridge Road, it's right behind Butler Ford, running every night till 11 o'clock. Come by, sit out in front of the house and enjoy the light show.
Don't pull any grass, right?
No, pull my grass and tear it all up. I got a new neighbor across the street, he didn't know about this yet. They just built a new house across the street, so they're trying to sell the house across the street, and I really don't want them to sell it, but fair enough. In front of my house, you pull in front of it, it's on my side of the road, my road, the shoulder's pretty wide, so you pull down park, because after Christmas time, I take my tractor and go out there and take a load of sand and run across the yard, spread it out, and by springtime, it's grown back and it looks good, so, you know, a little torn up side road.
And what's the radio station number?
Radio station number, if you pull up, there's two sides of the yard, it's 88.7, turn it on, and the music coordinates with the music in your car, so I've got about probably 8 or 10 songs to go through. I didn't add anything, not song wise, because right now it's the deal, the company I bought the software from, I've got to take an upgrade. Big upgrade right
Come on now, upgrade.
So I'm using last year's song,
Yeah.
but it's the same.
Always good.
Is it one Christmas vacation? Get your car in there?
Yeah, here for my little snippets in between a Christmas vacation, so I did that, so it's kind of like car narrating the show.
As well.
That is so cool. Well, thanks for mentioning that, Bobby.
Thanks for doing that. Next week, we'll do happy $50 sale. That's usually what y'all have to do there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't wanna do more than 1 or 2 of those next week.
Well, that sounds good. And then to Bobby's point, also, if it's easier for you to purchase tickets individually, you can let Dawn know and she'll add them to your Rotary invoice. And so you can just pay at the end of the month, end of the quarter.
It's that 10 merits.
10 demerits?
Merit is that 10 ticket.
No, very.
I thought you said demerit.
No.
Okay. All right, just a couple more things and then our speaker will come forward. The board nominations, we wanted to go through that today, but we're gonna give it just one more week. We have chairs rolling over treasurer, public image, service projects, membership, and then president-elect for 26-27. Also, let's see, next Thursday is going to be a holiday type programming. Jay Witcher's saxophone ensemble will be coming from Baldwin High School to perform while we work on a service project. We'll be packaging meals for Millie Food Bridge next Thursday. So looking forward to doing that. And then also this Friday, tomorrow, and Saturday at the Baldwin Fire Station on Allen Memorial Drive, they're wrapping Christmas gifts for kids, and they need volunteers from that between 9 and 4 p.m. on both days. If you bring a pair of scissors, they'll take care of the wrapping paper and the cellophane tape. And they only need 6 people at a time, so they probably have pretty much who they need, but I just wanted to mention that in case anyone had some free time or resources for that. Our interactors will be there from 1 to 3 on Saturday wrapping gifts. So they're gonna be there on our behalf as well. And then, Erin, was there anything about the food items that you wanted to mention for next Thursday's program?
Not really. I plan to do the shopping for us to put the bags together to go to Millie Free Fridge. If someone wants to help out, they're more than welcome. But I'm just gonna look at sales paper and find the best deals.
Okay, perfect. And Responsive wants to help out with that. If any other businesses want to help with the costs involved, just let Erin know. And I believe that's all we have for club business, unless anyone has anything else they want to, Kristen?
Frederick actually has volunteered to clean the bridge out prior to, sorry, I swallowed wrong, prior to us delivering the bag.
Okay, so Frederick's gonna help with
I'll
the
be doing that, I'll
organizing.
be doing that on Saturday, When the temperature reaches 55 or higher. Yeah, Saturday, probably early afternoon or sometime. If you're interested, just let me know. And, but I'll be out there. It probably takes about 30 minutes to do it. So if you want to join me, that's cool, but that's what I'll be doing Saturday. It's probably 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Okay, so that's Saturday, the 21st.
That's gonna be this
Coming Saturday,
So I'm
the
gonna be
14th.
planning for, when you all stock it, because I won't be here next week, but when you all stock it, it'll be hopefully clean, still clean.
Okay, thank you for that. Awesome. Okay, well, Stephanie, would you like to come forward and introduce our program, please?
We've got Mr. Bill Von Alt today. He's here to talk about all of the Rotary Youth Services that we've got. He comes to us today from the Rotary Savannah East Club. So everyone, please welcome Bill.
Bring my cheat sheet up, but don't forget one. Thank y'all for having me come out today. I wear a couple of hats with Rotary, and today, right now, the hat I'm wearing is District Youth Services Chair or District New Generation Chair. And typically what I do is I come out to clubs and I kind of give a rundown through the different programs here that are Rotary sponsored or Rotary adjacent that focus on youth. And I plea and I beg for clubs to get engaged, pick a program and let's just make it happen. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I mean, hopefully we got everything come away with a little new information, maybe a program you weren't familiar with some additional details. But I don't need to pitch youth services military because y'all participate in a big way. And so thank you very much for that, and give yourselves a round of applause for that. This little one pager I put together, you can tell it's my work because it is right with typos and formatting errors. I listed the youth services programs that the Rotary supports and that we have here in Georgia, no particular order. But the first one at the top there is RYLA, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. Around the world and throughout the United States, RYLA is an opportunity for each Rotary district to really come up with and make their own program, right? Sometimes it's just a day or two, sometimes it's a week long. Sometimes it's a series that may run throughout the year, 1 weekend, a quarter for a year or something like that. The way that we do it here in District 6920 and then I believe throughout the rest of Georgia is we do a 3 to 4 day leadership camp. It's held down at Coastal College of Georgia in Brunswick, and it is free to the youth participants, right? They get fellowship, they get amazing guest speakers, they get team building activities, they get some fun downtime, some dinners out, get to know each other, and it doesn't cost them a dime. The lodging, program, transportation, all provided by Rotary. In order to register a student for RYLA, which I know Millersville has already registered your RYLA student for next year. Again, thank you guys for that. That's amazing. In order to register a student, it's depends on how early or late you are. It's between $350 to $450 for a student to participate in this program. That's a pretty low barrier of entry when we start talking about the cost of some of these other youth service programs. And so again, that's usually my plea to clubs is, hey, don't do anything else. Send a student to RYLA this year. My plea to you guys is send two. Yeah, it's a great experience. Do you have you historically had your RYLA students that you sponsored come back and do a club program or at least share their experience? Yes. That's terrific. They always have such amazing things to say. And many of those students will then go on to become Rotary Youth Exchange participants or to become Rotaractors. That's their first kind of exposure as a rising high school junior or senior sometimes to Rotary. We're going to skip GRSP for a second. I just mentioned Interact and Rotaract. You guys have a very active Interact club. You're familiar with that. I don't need to pitch it. Interact essentially is Rotary for youth of middle and high school age. Okay. Rotaract is Rotary for young persons of college age. Rotaract used to be a sort of a program of Rotary. Now it is equivalent, right? Rotaractors are Rotarians, if you didn't know that. But still, it's college age Rotarians. Early Act, I'm hoping is new to you. Early Act is a relatively new program. It's been around for about 2 to 3 years now. And Early Act is Rotary for elementary school age children. Little ones her age. You say, well, how does that work? Right? What does that program look like? How do we get them to sit through a luncheon and a program and raise money and sell raffle tickets? It's not like that. It's not a club within the school. like Interact and Rotaract are. Early Act, the school is the club. You partner with an elementary school, get the principal on board, get the counselor on board, and that school becomes basically a Rotary Club, an extension of Rotary. All of the youth, all the children enrolled in that school are by default early actors. Now, they may choose not to participate, right? They can opt out, that's fine. But by virtue of going to an early act school, they are early actors. And what we do is we ask Rotary clubs to support these early act schools by helping them complete 3 service projects throughout the course of a year. One of those service projects should have a local focus, local community. And we leave it up to the Rotary clubs and the school to define what that means to them. What is my local community? Is that my school, my neighborhood, my county, right? Local can have a couple of different meanings. The second service project should have a broader community view, national or regional, right? And the last service project, the third of the 3, should have an international perspective. There's an international perspective to the students. Now, again, these are little ones. We're not sending them to go build wells or deliver polio vaccines, but we're asking them to think bigger. You thought about your school, you thought about your neighborhood, you thought about your county, your state, your region. There's a whole big world out there, right? And there's lots of folks who can use our help. And so with that international perspective, we've seen programs like having a sort of cultural and ethnic exchange. You know, people potluck, people bring different dishes from around the world. I've seen schools host a passport, which is a lot of fun. You get to come in and then check in and you get your little paper passport from the school. And as you go around to different stations and tables, you learn about different cultures, different communities, different countries, regions of the world. And you get the little cancellation stamp on your passport, right? Kids have a lot of fun with that one. The idea is that we want these children at these schools to start to engage in service above themselves as early as possible. And that's going to lead them then to become interactors, Rotaractors, Rotarians down the line. Okay. Early Act is an amazing program. I'm a little mad at one of our Georgia clubs because they beat me being the first Early Act club. I've been working with an elementary school in Savannah, Haven Elementary School, for 2 years now, no joke, 2 full years, to get them enrolled as an early act school. They're still not. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring up is the public school system has put a lot of checks and balances, a lot of safety mechanisms, a lot of barriers in the way of working with them to protect their children. I respect that. It does make getting the schools to kind of do anything very difficult. And so my encouragement to you is if you like the Early Act program, you're going to proceed that. I understand, Tamara, you said we have 2 members of the club who are current or retired superintendents?
Oh, one correct.
One current, one retired. Maybe there's some relationships there that can be leveraged. Maybe there's some contacts. It's very difficult for the schools to work through their own bureaucracy, even when they're super excited. Haven tells me every month how excited they are. I'm like, that's terrific. Sign here. Not yet. If you have the ability through teachers, through administrators, through board members, to sort of work your way into the schools that way, that would be my encouragement. And with a very active Interact group as you have, maybe there's a route that way as well, right? To come back from that group back into the elementary school. Let's do the Rotary Youth Exchange. This one's exciting. So I'm going to compare and contrast GRSP because I know y'all are familiar with GRSP. Millersville has in the past supported GRSP students. Why are there 2? Why are there 2 youth exchange programs? Well, the answer is, first and foremost, GRSP is not an exchange program. It's an ambassadorial scholarship. We don't send people anywhere through the GRSP program. We receive only from many different countries around the world. And they're college age youth, not high school age. Rotary Youth Exchange is a traditional exchange program. It's what you think about when you hear youth exchange. High school age students coming and going, okay, for a semester or a year. There's some options in the program. There's short-term and long-term stays. District 6920 has not participated in Rotary Youth Exchange in a very, very, very long time, maybe ever, as far as I'm aware. I've tried to do the digging on the records. I can't come up with a time when Georgia's participated in Rotary Youth Exchange because we have GRSP, right? We have our own thing. It's special. It's unique. It's expensive. And that has sometimes precluded people from participating in Rotary Youth Exchange. I have a new chair this year, Dana Park. I believe she's got her. Yep, you guys heard from Dana. She has done an amazing job of getting Rotary Youth Exchange off the ground this year. So much so that we have 2 outbound students that just found out where they were going last night. So we have 2 participants from our district going to study abroad next year, which means we will eventually have 2 inbound students coming looking for host families and homes. That's a way that you can engage with Rotary Youth Exchange. It's a big ask in terms of opening your homes and your hearts. It's not a big ask for money. That's another kind of contrast and compare between GRSP and Rotary Youth Exchange. We talk about supporting a GRSP student. Tuition, room, and board has only gone up over the years, right? It's a big ask in terms of opening your checkbooks. Rotary Youth Exchange costs the club about $2,000. Okay. Not a huge lift. But remember, these are high school age students. They're going to live with you. They're going to require food every once in a while. They're going to participate in after school sports that require transportation. It's a big open your homes, open your hearts ask for a Rotary Youth Exchange. There is a consortium. It doesn't exactly follow the boundaries of our zone, but it's close. There's a consortium of Rotary districts stretching from the Bahamas through Florida all the way up here into Georgia. That is the Southeast Consortium for Youth Exchange. The incoming and outgoing student balance has to be balanced within the consortium. And what I mean by that is if you sort of send a student abroad to study, that doesn't mean you then have to house one. It does not even mean your club has to house one or your district has to house one. But somewhere within that consortium from the Bahamas to Georgia has to house one for every outcome, right? We can get away for a little while with sending some outbounds and not receiving some inbounds while we're building our program. But eventually the consortium is going to look at us and say, all right, guys, you've sent 2, 4, 6 students abroad, you now got to host them. And so look for me, Dana, and others in the coming years to petition hard to think about opening your hearts and homes to receive some inbound Rotary Youth Exchange youth. Mentioned GRSP. GRSP is great. Again, college age students, Rotary funds, room, board, tuition for them for a year to come to the United States, to come to the great state of Georgia, study in one of our amazing colleges and universities, and then take their learning, take not just their academic learning, right? Take their cultural learning, take what they've learned about us, about our nation, about the other countries that they've interacted with and those students, and take that back home and spread the mission of Rotary and spread peace. That's what it's all about. We have found in Savannah that it becomes more tenable to support GRSP when you partner, right? And I know Milledgeville used to support students. I know tuition room and board has gotten insanely expensive. I encourage you to consider looking at some of the nearby Rotary clubs and seeing if a partnership isn't doable, right? This year, Savannah East, Savannah South, Richmond Hill, and Metro Rotary all partnered to support one student, which brought the cost down to under $4,000 a club. Still a lot of money, but you know what? It's not $12,000. It's not $16,000. So it became more doable. And those students are amazing, right? They come here. They live on campus. They have dining plans. Some of them drive, although it's discouraged. They require a lot less care and feeding than the high school age Rotary Youth Exchange. They do need a home during spring break, winter break, when the colleges and campus is closed, and they need your guidance. That's really what being a host family for GRSP is all about, is helping them get through that year exchange. What am I missing here? We have so many contests. We have the speech contest, which I know Jen Horden's been very involved with in the past. We have Laws of Life. So many ways for us to let the next generations know about Rotary, what we're about, and why they themselves, might want to consider not just joining our organization, not just increasing our membership roles, but really internalizing that service above self motto. So my call to action for you guys, not much different than other clubs, except like I said at the beginning, instead of saying, please choose a program and do it. RILA is a low barrier of entry, low cost. Do one today. You guys are already doing that. So consider expanding. Consider working your network, your contacts. Maybe an early act school is in Milledgeville's future. Maybe a second RILA student is in Milledgeville's future. Maybe a GRSP student with some Rotarian friends to help out is in Milledgeville's future. Ms. Tamara, you mentioned there's some board seats coming up, right? Soon. You did not mention, youth services chair. Is Jan still gonna continue that, or is that one coming up? No, Jan's continuing. Okay. Jan's amazing. I love her to death. She does an outstanding job. I would love to see, 2 or 3 other people fighting her for the seat. My ask is, be an involved youth services ambassador, if not a chair by name. Any questions about any of these programs that anybody might have?
You were mentioning a minute ago that 2 students are heading for the Rotary Youth Exchange. Where are they going?
So I was driving here instead of attending that meeting. I don't know. But I can find out. Yeah. When the student applies for Rotary Youth Exchange, they are allowed to list their I think it's top 3 to 5 places they'd like to go. But ultimately the Rotary Youth Exchange program assigns the students to locations. And so there's usually a meeting or an unveiling night where those that have applied and been accepted into the program learn where they're going to go. And almost always they get their first or second choice. It's very rare that it's not first or second choice. I was fortunate. I had 2 of my sons back when we lived in Maryland. 2 of my high school sons had applied and were accepted as Rotary Youth Exchange students. And then COVID. So so neither of them actually got to go do their year abroad. But yeah, I will be. Aaron Miller works with Dana Park to really kind of help out and co-chair Rotary Youth Exchange. I will find out where they also go to share that out with you so you can let people know. The list of potential places is quite lengthy, right? I mean, rule out any place that is embargoed or has exceptionally poor relations with the U.S. and pretty much every other place is fair game.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Bill, I have a question,
Sure.
question and a comment. So I went to the district. Thank you for coming out and doing the presentation. You did a great job saying that. Went to district conference a couple years ago, and the children that were part of the DRSP, thank you for playing DRSP and Rotary Youth Exchange, because those kind of got cloudy.
Sure.
But the kids, they were really appreciative of the opportunity, and you could just tell in their whole body language, it wasn't them coming up to express their appreciation because they had been given something. It was like they were fighting to get up there and to say how much they appreciate it. So they're a really good program, and I think it has a profound impact on those children. The question that I have in terms of youth and Rotary is what I've gathered so far is that the Interact is, as it applies to a school, is a way for youth to be able to participate in Rotary, as a youth. Is there any avenue for children that are not with the school, that are not in a school that is, early act or has the Interact program? Is there any route that those children might be able to have some kind of Rotary connection?
That's a fabulous question. Thank you. For early act specifically, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I would have to research that. It's a newer program and it is aimed at, like I said, the school is the program, right?
Correct.
But for Interact and Rotaract, they are clubs within the school traditionally, and it doesn't have to be within a school. It can be a community organization driven. And it could even be, when it's a community organization, that could be a formal, that could be a 501c3, a YMCA, a church. It could be a formal. It could also be a group of homeschool, something less formal. As long as there is, the accountability for the youth safety, right? There's some process to go through there. There's an adult leader that's willing to lead that program for that group or for that organization. And then you need a Rotarian liaison. So you need a Rotary Club and somebody in a Rotary Club that says, yes, we're gonna work with this group and this person to make it happen. But that is a fabulous question. It does not have to be in school per se.
Thank you.
Yeah. One thing I think I failed to mention when I was kind of comparing and contrasting GRSP and Rotary Youth Exchange there. For those that don't know, I will say GRSP is not a Rotary program. Just so we're clear on that, right? It's not a Rotary International program. It is a completely independent organization with its own foundation. So not the Rotary Foundation. It operates alongside of Rotary. We as Rotarians in the state of Georgia support it, but it does not exist outside the state of Georgia. It's not a Rotary International program. I remember I was new to Savannah. I lived in Savannah for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe. And Jim Drake who was then president of the GRSP Foundation, called me and said, "Hey, we got about 40 students coming to Savannah in 3 days. We're about 16 beds short. Can you host some students?" And I said, "Who are you? How'd you get my number?" And I'm looking around. I'm still sleeping on boxes. I was like, "Negatory, sir. No, this ain't gonna work. But tell me more about this program." And he laid it out for me, and he talked for maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't remember. It's Jim, you know. He laid it all out for me. And when he got done, I said, "Sir," I said, "that sounds like an absolutely incredible program. I love everything I've just heard. That's not a Rotary program. I've been a Rotarian for 6 years. I had never heard of such a thing, right? It is unique and distinct to the state of Georgia, and I think that's something we should be proud of. But just bear that in mind too when you're thinking about supporting a GRSP student. All of your generous contributions to the Rotary Foundation, precisely 0 cents of that goes to GRSP because it's its own animal, right? So that's a factor as well. Any other thoughts or questions?
Early Act,
Early Act.
how much participation do you have to have from the Rotary Club?
As much or as little as you would like. We're really there just to be a support mechanism for them, right? If the school wants to elect its own early act officers, hold its own early act meetings, plan, organize, and execute its own 3 early act service projects, then maybe all they do is invite us to come along for the ride and say, "Hey, we're getting ready to do this project. When you want to come, you want to be there," right? But sometimes the schools need a little more help than that. And I know when I was working with Haven, I said, "Look, I said, you give me a date and a time. I'll show up with a couple of Rotarians. We'll hold the elections. We'll make sure that you have officers in place that they know what their jobs are. We've already got some ideas for service projects. Now they're your projects. You choose what you want to do, but we got some ideas to help you get started. So it's as much or as little interaction as you choose to have with them."
Do you go to the school and present the program?
Yep. So what I've done with about half a dozen schools in the Savannah area is work really hard to get a meeting on the calendar of the principal and usually a guidance counselor or what we call a resource officer. If I can get those 2 people in a room, I can sell the program. And then it's just a matter of getting them to sign on the dotted line and say, "Yep, we're going to do this." That I haven't gotten done yet.
I think GMC do.
Okay.
I second.
There you go.
Second.
All right. Well, let me offer this. If y'all get a meeting or an opportunity to pitch early act to GMC, I have 1,000% full faith and confidence you can do it. You don't need me there, but I would love to be there. You get a meeting, let me know and see if I can't join.
We'll talk to Jan.
All right. Perfect. All right. If nothing else, I think we're at time. All right. Tamara, thank you so much.
Okay, Bill, thank you so much for joining us today and presenting on Rotary Youth Services. Kat, thank you for visiting our Rotary Club. It was an honor having you. Thank you so much. And just a quick reminder, next Tuesday, the 17th, is the final board meeting for this year. You're all welcome to attend. It counts as a makeup day. Next Thursday is the final club meeting of this year. There'll be a holiday theme. Jay Lucher's Bowen High School Sax Ensemble will be playing Christmas music while we're packaging food for Millie Free Fridge. So please come and join us for that if you can. And this meeting is adjourned.
I know, right, I was.
All the time, okay. Okay. Well, I guess they-